even with interviews and stuff like this, it's important for people to kind of understand who Bonkaz actually is. Like, if you're buying into something, you should understand it. Do you know what I mean?
So what you're doing now is a lot of shows, doing your recognizable face. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you still go out and do your local shopping, or do you have to send?
Oh yeah, I'm always gonna do that though, man. That's what it is. I can't separate myself from the people because I'm trying to be the one that teaches them something. Do you know what I mean? So if I just get like a whole load of money and fame and become inaccessible, then why should they believe anything I'm saying when I'm trying to say, yo, you should be confident enough to be yourself, like, but you can't see me though at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Same person that's giving you advice, you can't see me because I'm too big. It doesn't make sense, do you know what I mean? So I always kind of like be out and about. Like, people see me places and they're like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? I'm just like, bro, I like it here, innit? It's cool, you know what I mean?
Do you ever feel that may not change, but it may have to adapt? Because it can get to a point where it can get a bit crazy, like just so many people.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where it's not natural anymore.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm impulsive though. So even if I do take precaution, I won't stick to it. Like, I literally won't stick to it. Do you know what I mean? I could leave here today. Like, right now, I feel like I'm going home. When I leave here, I could step outside and be like, actually, I'm gonna go here. And I'll go. Like, once I've had the thought, I almost have to do it. It's weird, do you know what I mean? So I can't really put too much like precautions in place because I'll always just go somewhere anyway. I'll wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, this is what I'm doing today. And I'll go on my own. And like, yeah, man, it's cool. I don't ever want to lose that normality though, you know what I mean?
What's the performing aspect like for you? Because there's differences of actually, you know, maybe doing open mics, and actually how people are putting money down to see you perform now. Like, are you still finding yourself growing as a performer?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it gives me confidence though, knowing that people are actually here to see me today. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to like open mics where you go and you're kind of like, you might have a dead crowd. Like, people actually paid money to come and see me. My name is on the bill. Do you know what I mean? Like, they knew I was here, and that's why they're here. So it kind of gives me confidence, like, especially when people know the words as well. I always want to give energy to the crowd, but they definitely give it back, and like, it's just like a cycle, like back and forth. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think I got a lot of growing to do as a performer, though, 100%.
You obviously released a single earlier in the year, right? And then you dropped your project in between time. What was the thinking behind that?
It was almost an impulsive thing again, you know what I mean? It was like, there was definitely a thought process behind it, but it was just about how I'm gonna use the space in between the first single and the second single. Do you know what I mean? What I'm gonna do. So I didn't want to just put out the first single and then just sit back and not do anything. I wanted to put out the EP. I wanted to give people music, because We Run the Block is like a 3.5-minute tune. Do you know what I mean? It showcases like one side of me. So with the EP, I wanted to just showcase all the different sides. So I've got like some bars on there where I'm going hard. I've got vocals and melodies and different subject matters and everything on this one project. And then I kind of had a few conversations, like just talking about selling the EP or whatever, but like I had to pull it out for free, because it's like I've caught people's attention with We Run the Block. Now I have to drop this EP to showcase who I am, and I want every single person to hear it. Do you know what I mean? It's not about if you got the $4.99 to spare today. Like, everybody has to hear this. So by the time I come with my next single, you are learning about me and who I am. Do you know what I mean? You start to kind of understand the things that I care about. Even with We Run the Block, like, the song wasn't about beating up police. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't even about running a block, really. It's more of an analogy for something else. But even with interviews and stuff like this, it's important for people to kind of understand who Bonkaz actually is. Like, if you're buying into something, you should understand it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of like the thought process behind putting out the EP, and I just wanted everyone to just hear it, man. Like, kind of know who I am and understand me a bit more.
how does the label? They must be supportive of it to an extent, but is there ever any situation where it's like, why are you doing this? You know, it's just we're just doing some
No,
singles.
it's cool. Like there might be like banter or something. Like I do stuff like I record a tune in the studio, and I'll be like to the engineer or producer like, yo, how quickly can you mix this? And then they'll mix it now, and then I'll pull it out like an hour later. Do you know what I mean?
The Jay Warner one that you put out on.
Oh yeah, the clip, yeah. But that was like the clip of that was like a video clip of the song. But I'd actually put out the song like a couple of days ago. I recorded a tune, and then just like asked the producer to mix it down, and I just pull it out the same night. And then like someone in the team at the label was like, oh, like I don't even get an exclusive no more. Like there'll be banter, but it's cool. What I like is the fact that they haven't just like looked at like, oh, urban stuff is popping and we want to get involved. Like they genuinely understood me and wanted me and allowed me to tell them who I am. Do you know what I mean? Like we had a lot of conversations and meetings where I'm explaining to them who I am and what I believe in and the reasons why I do these things. And there was a lot of opportunities for them to be like, oh, okay, we thought you were that guy, we're actually not on it. Do you know what I mean? And that would have been cool. But after learning about me, they still wanted to sign me, and that was cool. If I felt like it was just a thing like, yeah, we just want to get involved in this cool urban stuff that's going on, then I wouldn't have been on it. Do you know what I mean? So with that being said, it's never really going to be a situation of like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? They just understand I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Do you know what I mean? And that's cool.
They did say that, like, when I had the conversation with Todd and Danny Wee, they were saying that they spoke to, they were speaking to Anthony and yourself, and they said that, look, we know this song isn't going to do the numbers that it possibly could have been done because of people will take
the lyrics and, yeah.
out of context. But they said we're about the music, you know what I mean? And it seems to be like a unique setup where there seems to be almost like an understanding that's allowed you, like you said, to let them know who you are. But in that process, is there ever a point, and I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, but is there ever a point you're thinking, maybe I shouldn't be saying this because I may have a deal, which may be a career.
What, in terms of like lyrics and stuff?
I mean, like, you know, like when you explain certain things, you may, you know, because like you're dealing with people on a different level now.
Yeah.
And we never know what is said, how it's interpreted. So was there ever any time in those meetings when you were conscious of thinking,
oh, if I say this, I'll mess up the deal or whatever? No, I kind of tried to look at everything through the same eyes, if that makes sense. So, like, with the deal situation, or even if I'm speaking to a female, like, I'm going to be 100% honest and let you know, like, I'll let this female know who I am. This is me. I'm not going to act like someone else. So, it's weird, it's like, if you don't like anything that I say or any way that I am, then this isn't going to work. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like with the deal situation, I had to let them know who I am. Like, I can't just hold something back and then when it comes out like a year down the line, everyone's like, "Bro, what's this?" Like, I don't really feel that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I'm always of the belief that nobody has to speak to me. Nobody has to like work with me or interact with me. Like, no female has to date me. No label has to sign me. It's cool. I'm cool either way. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like I have to put out exactly who I am so they understand. That was it, really. I didn't really hold anything back. I would have been more worried if I held things back because it's part of me and I'm always going to be myself. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just put it all on the table.
it's funny you say that because a lot of girls do want to date you.
For real.
And labels do want to sign you. So, you know, on the female part, how does it work? But you're moving around, you have things to do. Do you know what I mean? How does that balance out? Like, are you able to secure a situation for yourself, or
what, in terms of like relationships and stuff like that?
Because I mean, like your music, I mean, it alludes to those type of topics.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so, and I'm sure that you may get like the WhatsApp, is that about me?
Yeah. I got that the other day actually.
Was it about that?
No, it wasn't.
Did you tell her?
Yeah, I was just like, it's not about you, man. But it's like, I don't know, I think it's just about how enthusiastic you are about a situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're like super enthusiastic about a situation, I'm sure you'll always find time. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, like those things are always possibilities or whatever. But it's just all a bit weird sometimes like with new people, like new females that like I've just met, it's a bit weird a lot of the time, do you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying to my friend the other day, I'm gonna go like far out to like some rock festival where no one knows Bonkaz exists, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm Taylor, nice to meet you, do you know what I mean? And try and start something out like that. So it's just like cool. I feel like people act really weird, man. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, it's about how enthusiastic you are about the situation. You can always make time.
How can you read the, or you probably can, but reading the energy of, I want to get to know Taylor, or I'm getting to know Bonkaz, and even though you're saying that's kind of like two of the same, one is the musical public persona, and the other one maybe things which has nothing to do with the music.
Yeah.
So how, you know, when like say when it's a new person, how do you filter that out then?
I don't know. I haven't worked out how to do it yet. It's crazy. I ain't worked out how to do it yet, man. Like recently I started speaking to like a girl that I used to speak to like 3 years ago, and she's like, it's just so normal, do you know what I mean? So normal, because we knew each other way before like I was really like a public figure, do you know what I mean? Before I was like a known face or whatever, so I was always working towards it, but it wasn't like that at the time when we were talking. So like just a conversation with her just seemed so normal, and it's kind of like what I missed, just that normality. And I feel like nowadays, like you meet industry people or whatever, and like, it's weird, because I'm always trying to keep like industry stuff separate from like normal life, real life. But like you could be speaking to like a girl in the industry, and like you could say something as simple as like, oh, what did you have for dinner today? She'd be like, oh, do you know what, it's difficult because being a girl in this industry, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, I just said what you have for dinner. Like, it's like they always want to go back to it, do you know what I mean? And that's cool, like I'm not knocking anyone, but I just want that normality too. So I don't want like to take up my spare time and my free time, friends and family time, talking about an industry. We could talk about music all day, because like to me that's beautiful, but talking about like industry stuff is really weird.